Good news came out on February 2nd. The first emergency hospital, Wuhan, started to take in severely ill coronavirus patients, less than 2 weeks after construction work began. But a shortage of test kits was slowing the process of confirming cases, and there still weren't enough hospital beds. The city said it would send all confirmed patients to hospitals so that the majority of the 9 million people in lockdown could be safe. Many people with the virus were still out in the community. They needed to be separated to stop the virus spreading.
他原来是跟他爱人一起住，但是说有的人他们就隔离开了，他一个人住。喂，师傅，我是社区的。
57-year-old Wei Qingwei tested positive for coronavirus pneumonia on January 25th. Since then, he has been staying home alone.
因为我看很多人都在抱怨嘛，说那个救助不及时啊。
那其实，我们可能真的还没去死。
Wei is reluctant to go to the quarantine hospital.
在屋里还好休息嘛。
Because of the shortage of ambulances, the local police send a van to take Mr. Wei to the hospital. After a 15-minute drive, Wei arrives at a quarantine center for non-severe patients. His anxiety eases when he opens his lunchbox at the hospital.
菜嘛好啊，这菜嘛好啊，倒是蛮好的呀。比家里面做的要好吧？跟家里面菜比，跟自己做的比呢？
家里我也开烟灶，拿那个开了是吧？我自己可我也不放，这个煮的东西。
Dozens of quarantine centers were now opened across the city. Those in quarantine included people who had close contact with confirmed patients, fever patients, and people with clinical symptoms that had not yet been confirmed. On February 5th, Dr. Zhao Zhegang was well enough to return to work.
但我心里想说，现在这场战役还正在焦灼的状态呢。 还有那么多的病人需要去处理，前面做的逃兵，现在就要赶紧的冲上去，继续往下做。当然，这场战争最终还是会打赢。
The fatality rate of the virus is now under 3%, less than half that for SARS, but it's more contagious. On February 3rd, the nationwide death toll reached 361, overtaking SARS. But the next day, newly confirmed patients started to slow down outside Hubei province, where Wuhan is the provincial capital, a sign that the lockdown on Wuhan might have started to work. By the third week of the lockdown, over 10,000 cases were confirmed, and tens of thousands more were suspected in Wuhan. But fewer than 200 hospital beds were available. The government decided to convert public buildings, such as stadiums and convention centers, into temporary hospitals. The first 3 offered more than 4,000 beds.
我们在酒店隔离，不可能核酸试剂检查什么的，不可能做的那么及时，所以我们不可能实时的知道我们的情况。
25-year-old Ms. Shen was transferred to a temporary hospital from a hotel that had been turned into a quarantine center. The temporary hospitals only take in patients with mild symptoms. Patients admitted can basically take care of themselves. This woman is waiting in line to fetch some hot water.
这里生活方便吗？
还可以，
还可以。
都要相互理解一下。
上厕所方便吗？
还可以吧，就排队嘛。
排队比 上个厕所要排队排多长时间呀？
上厕所一般的还好，时间很短。就是打水的时候有点困难。
Because of similar protective suits, a patient mistakes a CGTN reporter for his doctor.
特别感谢你们啊！
好，我不是大夫啊，我是记者，你要感谢他们。
Mr. Ye is a Muslim from Qinghai province. He was infected during a trip to Wuhan.
清真的全部拿过来了。
也有专门的清真餐是吧？
专门的清真的给我拿过来。
需要自己解决吗？这个？
没，啥都解决好了。
餐费需要自己付吗？餐费啊，这是治疗费，需要你自己付钱吗？
没有，全部给我包括完了。
One woman is critical of the original response to the crisis.
这个国家也是费了很大的力气在拯救，但是还是武汉市地方对这个事情还是整治晚。
今年很多人都在缅怀一位医生李文亮。
A local doctor, Li Wenliang, tried to alert people about the virus a month before the lockdown, but he was reprimanded by the local authorities. Then he too became sick. CGTN reached out to him, but he was already severely ill with the coronavirus. But that day never came. On February 7th, Li passed away. Amid a public uproar, the central government sent a special team to investigate the circumstances leading to Dr. Li's death. In this battle against the virus, over 3,000 medical workers were infected in China. Many are in Wuhan. A dozen died.